Hey there, this is a little video just to share a little bit about sounding bowls, working bowls, crystal bowls. And this is an add-on to another video I did that was about an individual bowl, which now is stepping on to working with more than one bowl. So if you haven't seen the other video, I invite you to hop back and check it out, which goes right from the beginning and goes through quite a few fundamentals. And the key thing is to be really sure that you have them far enough apart, because if they're too close together and you're sounding them and they've got different vibrations going on, and especially if you have a larger bowl and then you have a smaller bowl, the sound vibration of the larger bowl, when it's vibrating really strongly, if it's too close to another bowl, particularly a smaller bowl, it can shatter the bowl. The other thing too is some bowls are really super thick and some are really quite thin. These ones are all relatively thick, but I have a super thin one over there, and that one particularly I have to be extra mindful about. So basically what you can do when you're working with more than one bowl, you can keep them all on a surface like this and just work them one at a time and in between where the sounds will still overlap, or you can work with two wands and work two of them at the same time. The other thing you can do, and I have often done, is where I will pick one up and I will sound the other bowls and get them going so that they've got some ongoing, they really sustain for a long time. And then I will tap and work the bowl that I'm working, that I have in my hand that I'm working on. And that is when, if I have a group of people or I'm doing a private session for somebody, even if it's just one person on a massage table, I will get the other bowls all sounding. Then I will bring one bowl closer so that while I'm working with the one bowl, they're all sounding with each other. And they can really quite oscillate off each other really interestingly. Another thing too is that it depends on the notes of the bowls. You can choose notes that are complementary to each other. For example, harmony, where you might have a fundamental and then a third and a fifth. They might be the notes you have. And if someone isn't into music to know what that is, it's just when you hear harmonies, it just has that lovely sweet your ears receive it so beautifully and sweetly because it's so in tune, and the harmony parts complement the basic note that's the start note. So you've got the fundamental is the bass note, then you've got, in this case I mentioned third and fifth, but it can be other things, but that's a natural, easy harmony combination. So when you hear things like that, and with bowls it is beautiful. However, they don't have to be that. And sometimes when the bowls have notes that are closer together, which normally wouldn't happen in, say, a chord of music or harmony sort of combination, that it actually can create quite a potent, energetically, we're talking therapeutic sound, it can really create something quite potent. So I highly recommend letting go of anything you might know or think or believe about musical notes and musical scales. And if you don't know anything about it, you're streets ahead. So that's awesome. So the notes don't have to match each other. It's just about the energetic and what they create with each other. And it's also been said to me by someone who really knows what they're talking about, it's not a great idea to have two bowls that are only like a semitone apart, which is half a note. For those who aren't clear, that means the notes are quite close to each other, but they're not exactly the same. And it had been said in years past that if you sound two bowls together that are a semitone or less than a semitone apart, that can be too much for people to receive, that they might not be ready for that. However, I would say be in question, because the energy has changed, the vibration of the planet is different, and I believe it's less so the case now. But it also depends on a group of people. If you have a group of people you're doing a sound event for, it depends on who that group of people is, and it's about being tuning into your own awareness. If you're not sure, when in doubt, don't. But if you're really clear and really sure, then trust what you know. And so essentially, when you have more bowls, you've just got a whole different dynamic going on, because they're all bouncing off each other. And you can set intent collectively or individually, but generally just collectively. And also, like, each bowl has its own properties. This is the citrine-amethyst bowl, or ametrine bowl, that I was working with in the video about the solo bowl. This is called Laughing Buddha, and it's iron with the quartz, and it's basically a joy bowl. It's like joy for the cells, and it has that kind of energy, which is beautiful. Then this bowl has 8 different crystals in it. In fact, you can see that it's got quite a bit of stuff going on in there. And there's a whole list of all the things that are in there, and I'm not going to rattle them off because it's really just more about the vibe here. So what I would do with this sort of thing is just tap each one individually, and then just let the sounds do what they will. I'm really feeling a vibe from those, and that's actually another interesting thing. I've had bowls for years and years and years. I've had these bowls for years, and it can be so different on different days. I could have heard them 1,000 times and had all sorts of different experiences with them, and then I can sound them again on a different day in a different situation and have a whole new experience. I just had a new experience with that just now. And I was like, wow, that's new, which is fabulous. It's like a gift that keeps on giving. And it also depends on where you're at energetically, vibrationally. And so you can open up when you think you know them and you think you know what the feeling is of them, that as you change and evolve, it just opens up sort of new layers and new possibilities with it, which is fabulous. So then I would start to sound some bowls together, or I might sound one and then tap the others. So for example, I might sound like get them all going quite strongly, like fully, and just keep working around with them. And actually, this is just 3 bowls. I didn't want to put more on this table because there wasn't enough space, but sometimes I will have like 6 bowls all sounding at once. And the other thing too is if there's more than one person sounding the bowls, that can be fabulous. I've had that where I'll have another sound practitioner who is working the bowls with me, and we'll just work with the 6 bowls and have the 6 bowls all going, and particularly where some might be on a table and the others are getting walked around. It's just the most fabulous thing. So I mentioned in the earlier video with the solo bowl that the wands can be quite different and give you different effects and different sounds, and some are thicker and some are thinner. Here is a really good case in point that when you try to use this thicker one on this bowl, not kind of really quite happening compared with using this thinner one. So as you can hear, that's quite a big difference between the thick and the thin one. So I'll sound all the bowls together now, and hopefully my camcorder with its awesome audio specialty will translate that into a nice experience for you. But you're welcome to be watching if you want to see what I'm doing, but also you can close your eyes and just have the experience. So any which way, whatever works for you. So there's all sorts of other bits and pieces and ideas that you can experiment with, but the key thing is just to be really mindful, to be really present and focused, and as clear as you can be in yourself. If you've got worries and hassles and whatever, just put them aside as best you can, and to be a clear vessel as much as possible. And also the bowls will be working on you while ever you're doing anything for anyone else anyway. So really just let go of anything that's not present moment, and it's really quite an extraordinary place to be, and a beautiful experience to have, whether you are offering the sound or receiving the sound. So these are just a few of my beautiful bowls, and there's all sorts of different experiences you can have with different bowls, different sounds, different vibrations, different properties. So, and the other thing too is, well, what I was going to say is, so when you have an experience with them, you may have an awesome experience, you may not. It may resonate with you very deeply, it may not. If it doesn't, that doesn't mean that all bowls won't, and that it's just, hey, crystal bowls, that doesn't do anything for me. It could be that different bowls with different notes and different properties would actually resonate really strongly for you. And the other thing is, again, it can be a timing thing. Something might have zero effect for you in terms of resonating today, but tomorrow it can be a whole other story. So it's about just being open, receptive, and in the moment. Truly, it's actually quite simple when you boil it all down. So the bowls can be on their own sounding, and that's beautiful. They can also be where you add vocals, and it can just be free form. It could be therapeutic sound type of toning. It could be just whatever inspires you. And also a lot of the bowls do sound lovely with other instruments. So you can introduce musical instruments as well. You can also introduce drones that are like maybe other notes that you might have MP3s of, and you can put on your sound system or through a speaker, and you can have all sorts of different dynamics all combining in. And so this is just the simplicity of just the bowls, but yeah, definitely can have all sorts of different possibilities, and it's really quite endless. So by all means experiment, and the sky's the limit, and even then it's way beyond the sky. So I hope you've enjoyed this little video sharing about these beautiful bowls and working with them in combination with each other. And I truly wish that on your sound journey, whether with crystal bowls or not actually, but while ever you are exploring sound and these beautiful sound alchemy beings, I wish you all the magic and incredible experiences that I am sure you will have. And may your sound journey in your own life and in what you contribute to others bring you and others much joy and healing and peace and presence, where you come home to yourself inside and rest there. Enjoy.